So, ladies and gentlemen, my intention was to take a break around 11:30, somewhere between 11:30 and 11:45. Is everybody okay? Everybody comfortable? Okay. State may call its next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Marlon Sutton.
Well, so you know, I'm going to take a break around 11:30, 11:45, and then I'm probably we're going to take a little bit of a later lunch, or probably around 1:15 if everybody's good with that. So make sure if you need a snack or something on the break that you get one, okay? Thank you. If you'll come on up to the witness stand. When you reach the witness stand, before you sit down, if you'll turn and face the deputy and raise your right hand, he'll swear you in.
You swear upon to the testimony that you're about to give truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you, sir. And just be careful about that ledge with the rolly chair.
Okay.
And then if you'll just scoot up to the microphone and state and spell your name for the record, sir.
Yeah, this is Marlon Sutton, Marlon Sutton.
Okay. Officer Sutton, good morning.
Good morning.
Tell the court where you're currently employed.
I'm currently employed at Atlanta Municipal Court right now.
Okay. And what agency do you work for?
City of Atlanta.
How long have you worked with the City of Atlanta Police Department?
Ooh, a little over 30 years.
Okay. And when you started, describe your role when you started with the police department.
Yeah, I started back in '94. I was assigned to Zone 3. So I was basically answering 911 calls for the first 9 years I was in the department.
Okay. And at any point were you employed in that capacity in July of 1998?
Yes.
All right. And would you have the occasion to, as part of your role in the police department, responding to incident calls or 911 calls?
Yes.
All right. And do you also have the occasion to respond to, say, calls involving domestic violence?
Absolutely.
All right. Is that a pretty common occurrence, responding to calls where there's been an allegation or call about a domestic violence incident?
Pretty much in that area was.
All right.
I worked at.
How many calls, and just ballpark, how many times would you say you've had a chance to respond to a domestic violence incident?
I was in that zone for 9 years, so I probably wrote about maybe 5 to 10 reports a day. Domestic violence, it had to be in the hundreds.
I'm sorry.
I wrote hundreds of domestic violence reports. I've been over there.
All right. And when you respond to a domestic violence call, talk about some of the things that you're either concerned about or you're looking to investigate.
Yeah. Anytime I got a call of domestic violence, first of all, I just want to check and make sure that the victim is taken care of, away from hurt, harm, or danger, see if she needed kind of medical attention, so on and so forth. And we had a domestic violence unit back then. We would call them out to come out and actually deal with them on pursuing any charges further, since in this particular case, I was out on the suspect, wasn't on the scene.
Okay. What typically happens when say a warrant or a domestic violence, say a battery is initiated? What happens typically?
Well, typically, if I write the initial report and we'll call a DV, domestic violence investigator, to come out, and they'll investigate from that point on and have the victim come down and pursue warrants and so on and so forth.
Okay. You familiar with the term of TPO?
Yes.
What is that?
Temporary protective order.
And what's generally the purpose of a temporary protective order?
Someone in fear of being hurt or harmed by another person, they file a TPO.
Okay. Is that something that you will either educate or inform persons that you believe may have been victims of the
Right. There's time I can inform or I can get the domestic violence unit, because that's what they pretty much do every day.
Okay.
So.
And when you, what's the process? How does one go about getting a protective order?
Yeah. Well, what I would do is that I would just always, if I can't get the DV on the line or can't get them to come out, I would advise them to come down to the courthouse and file one.
Okay.
So you
would actually advise the individual to, if they felt concerned, they would go to the courthouse.
Yes, but generally, if we got a domestic violence unit, then we'll call them out to the scene to assist them further.
Okay.
Forgive me for interrupting, sir. If you would, you're a really fast talker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's okay. If you'll just, when you're answering questions, try
slow down a little bit.
Slow down a little bit. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is it common for you to find, say, the offending spouse at the location when you respond?
No, it's not common. I mean, sometimes, but not. You know, so most of the time, the suspect probably is gone or left the scene before I get there.
Okay. And I want to turn your attention to July 21st, 1998 incident. Your testimony is that you were employed in that same capacity at the Atlanta Police Department on that date.
Yes.
Did you have the occasion to respond to an incident location at that date?
Yes, there was a call came up that day.
All right. Do you recall what street that incident location was?
I believe it was on Brookline.
All right. Do you recall the address itself?
No.
All right. If I were to show you a copy of your report, would that refresh your recollection as to, say, the address numbers of the street and
Yes,
the street name itself?
absolutely.
Okay. Take a look at this document to yourself.
Okay. Okay. All right.
To having reviewed that document, is your recollection refreshed as to the street number?
Yes, 772 Brookline.
All right. Well, let me show you this document again.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you this. So, the 772 Brookline Street, do you know if that's the number of the address of the call that came in, or is that the number of the actual house where the incident was taking place?
No, according to what I wrote, is that's not where it occurred at. She had left and went to another location and called, and I met her at that location.
All right, all right. So it wasn't, you didn't meet her at the incident location where it occurred.
Right.
Your testimony is that she left and went to a different.
Right.
All right. And as far as the address where the incident actually occurred, do you recall what that address is?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
Would it help to look at a copy of your report?
Yes.
This document is.
Yes.
All right. You could look at this section here, and I'll read it to you.
Okay.
Okay. What is that address?
I wrote in the 780 block of Brookline.
Okay. You don't recall it being 824 Brookline?
No. Let me see it. Let me see what I wrote.
You see that section here? You recall that?
Okay, that's the address that was given to me is their residence address. As a resident, right.
Okay. All right. And when you say their residence, you're referring to the Christopher and Melissa Wolfenbarger?
Right, there at 824
All right. Okay.
Brookline.
And that location, is that in Fulton County?
Yes.
When you arrived at incidents of involving domestic violence, do you look to see if there are any signs of physical trauma or abuse on the individual that's been affected?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell the jury if you recall seeing any signs that Ms. Wolfenbarger had been assaulted or attacked in any way?
Yeah, I documented the bruises that was on her legs.
Okay. And okay. Now, do you recall seeing anywhere else? And I know this is 1998.
I mean, not off the top of my head, as I wrote something down in the report that I'm not aware of.
All right. And during this period, your testimony is that you were taking about five to 10 calls a week?
I may break like 5-10 reports a night.
A night?
Right.
Okay. All right. And that's during that 8-9 year period
Right.
That you were working that zone?
Right, Zone 3 was busy back then.
All right. And so, to your recollection, this would have been the only time you would respond to that location. Is that also correct?
That, to my recollection, it is.
All right. I want to turn your attention to, well, let me ask you this. Would it refresh your recollection if you were to review another portion of your
Okay,
potential injuries you may or may not
Okay.
observe?
I got you.
Okay. You look at that section, tell the court if you recall seeing any abrasions or indication of an attack.
All right, can we approach?
Yes.
indicating where you may or may not have observed any injuries on Ms. Wolfenbarger?
Yes, I observed injuries on her body.
Okay. Do you recall what parts of her body that you observed injuries on?
Yes, sir.
And what parts were those?
Her legs, I think I documented on there.
Okay.
Arms and legs, I believe. Yes.
Did you also see any injuries on her back?
Not that I recall. That's the top of my head.
You could look at this report in this section here.
Okay. Yes, sir. I see it.
So you recall documenting in your report observing injuries on her arms and back?
Yes, I did.
All right. Now, if you're documenting this, are you documenting what you're observing with your own eyes?
Yes.
And was that a practice that you would do? Would you want to, or would you make it a point to actually observe any injuries that you were going to document in your report yourself?
Yes. I mean, you want to document the injury because just to see if some actually did took place. So.
Okay. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Samuel?
Officer Sutton.
Yes, sir.
So, do you have your report with you?
No, sir.
Do you remember now, or having looked at your report before you came in today, how many hours had gone by between the time of the incident, whatever it was, and the time you first talked to Melissa?
I don't recall, but I think I wrote down that this had occurred at a different time in my report. I believe it happened at a different time.
Right. How many hours had gone by between the time whatever. I'm going to ask the same question.
Yeah, I don't know because, I mean, I think I documented that this occurred at a certain date and time in my report. I don't know what I put on there, but I think I wrote it down that this happened at a certain date and a certain time. So I'm not sure how many hours it was from my memory.
Okay. Do you have a copy? Sorry. Okay. Do you mind if I give you a copy? Yes. I'm going to give you.
Okay.
I think. Yes, sir. It's going to be too confusing. Did you document in your report that any injuries that you observed had occurred earlier at a different location?
Yes.
Okay.
I did document it, right.
Okay. You met Melissa at her house, right?
No.
824.
Okay. I can't recall. I reason why I say that because I think I met her in the street from that where it didn't occur.
Okay. So we have one place where the event occurs.
Right.
And then we have the residence.
Right.
Okay. By the way, you never saw Chris Wolfenbarger that night
No.
at all. You've never met him.
I don't even know what he looks like.
Okay. We couldn't identify him in the courtroom today.
No.
Okay. You guess, but
I mean,
you don't know him.
I don't know him, no.
And never saw him that night.
Never saw him.
Right. And what you wrote in your report was that any injuries were minor, correct?
They appear to be minor.
Okay. I mean,
Right.
you checked a box on
Right.
the report that said
Yeah,
minor.
it appeared to be minor. It wasn't anything grave.
Right. Did you take her shirt off?
No.
Okay. And yet you wrote in your report injuries to back. Mm-hmm. So you didn't observe those, right?
I don't know. I can't recall.
Fair enough. And your recollection is something about her legs and her arm, but you don't ever remember taking her shirt off and
No, I
examining
don't remember taking her shirt off.
or examining her like that.
Well, I saw injuries on her legs just from what I wrote down, what I saw, what I observed. I didn't take any clothes off.
Right. Okay. I'm not accusing you of anything. Was there anybody with Melissa when you were doing this interview?
I can't recall.
You. Okay. Do you remember another man who was at where she had been?
I don't remember that.
Don't remember anything about that.
I don't even think about another man. No.
Do you know what was going on at 780 Brookline Street? You wrote that in your report as the incident location, right?
I don't, if I wrote it down, I don't know what's going, I don't know if it actually occurred there, and I got to see my report. I'm not sure.
Brown, may I?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I did some highlighting, and that's obviously mine, not yours.
Okay.
The incident location was a location at 780 Brooklyn.
Okay, yes, uh-huh.
And Chris Wolfenbarger wasn't there, right?
No,
You never saw him.
never saw him.
And where did you actually interview Ms. Wolfenbarger?
One second. Let me see. Hold on a second.
Not asking you what was said, just the location.
Well, I got to look and see because I don't. I mean, I know I met her on Brookline, but I don't know the exact location. Yeah.
But it wasn't her residence.
Wasn't a residence? No.
And you also said that there was some stolen items involved. You remember that?
I remember writing it down, but I can't recall. I can't put it together now why I wrote it. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, but if your report wrote her glasses were stolen and $10 were stolen, would that be accurate?
Yeah,
You wouldn't write
because
it down.
well, I mean, I think her purse was stolen.
Okay,
There might have items that may have been in her purse. I was just documenting.
okay. You want to look at your report?
Yes.
again?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I see it.
$10 was stolen, purse, and her glasses were stolen, and her purse was stolen?
Yes.
You
Okay,
wrote that
I wrote that down. Right.
You wouldn't write it down if you weren't sure, right?
Right. That's what I was told.
I don't want to get into what you were told, but no medical treatment was needed, though. You checked that box, no.
No, I don't recall medical treatment.
Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Fawcett, questions for this witness?
We could approach.
Yes.
Document in your report the times that you responded to that location?
Yes.
Is that something that you would have done?
Yes.
And also in your report, would you have documented the time that the call came in?
Yes.
And typically, when a call comes in, what is the contributing factor to when you would, when an officer would be dispatched to a call?
You mean a time? Or
Yeah,
what?
and generally, what time would an officer be dispatched to a call for when actually not?
Well, they prioritize calls. So if someone just filed a police report and there's no immediate threat, it's going to be downgraded. Okay. So it's hard to say, depending on how busy the calls are that day.
All right. And so when this call came in about a potential domestic violence incident, where would that have been in terms of calls and priorities?
Well, it wouldn't have been a high priority call because there was no threat there at the time.
Okay. All right. Now, do you recall and we were talking about the July 21st, 1998 incident. You recall that day? Do you recall the time that you received the call?
No, I don't recall off the top of my head. I don't.
Okay. Do you recall the time that the actual call came in?
No, I have to see what's documented.
Okay. If you could review your report
Okay.
and tell the court if you can recall both of those times.
Okay. The time I received the call?
Yes.
Okay. You want the dates or just the times?
Just the date and the time.
Okay. Okay. I got the call on, it looks to be, I'm trying to read my writing, it looks to be July 21st, 1998 at around 8 p.m.
Okay.
Maybe that's 8:01 p.m. I'm not sure. Like maybe 8:01 p.m. 2100 hours.
And that would have been a time you say you received the call?
Right. That's the time I received the call. Yes.
All right. And what would have been the time that you would have responded?
Let's see. Hold on one second. I don't know the exact time I got there on the scene. That's the time I got the call, though. So I don't know what time I actually arrived.
Okay.
That's the time I got the call. So it could have been anywhere between, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes after I got the call before I got there on the scene.
Okay. That would have been an average time that it would have taken you to respond.
Right.
to
Just
the call.
drive over there, probably about 10 to 15 minutes.
All right. At that time, did you have the name of the individual that would have been the offender?
When I got the call?
Yes.
No, not when I got the call. I didn't.
All right. At that time, did you have an understanding of who the potential offender was to the victim, like the relationship between the two? Did you have an understanding of that?
Objection.
Do you want to rephrase? If you can.
Okay. Did you know the relationship between the two parties?
I
No.
object, Your Honor.
Overruled.
What was your answer?
No, I didn't know.
All right. And did you know who upon responding, did you know who the victim was?
Upon responding, yes, I did.
And who was that?
I don't know her name, to be honest with you. I can look at the report and give you the name I wrote on there.
I'm sorry?
I can look at the police report and give you the name of the victim that's on the police report. I can give you that. You like me to read the name of the report? I can give you that. You have to know the victim name?
Yeah. Did you document that victim's name?
Yes, I did.
What is that name?
It's Melissa Wolfenbarger. I'm not pronouncing it right.
That's all I have, Judge.
Mr. Samuel, anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You may
Thank
sit
you.
down. You are
Right.
excused. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 11:42. We're going to take about a 15-ish minute break. I'm going to try and get you in here as close to noon as I can. And then again, as I mentioned, we'll go for about an hour and 15 minutes, and then take a break for lunch. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes. Thank you.
All right, for the jury.
Please be seated. We're going to take a break in just a second. Before we do, I wanted to put a couple of bench conferences on the record and just see if anybody wanted to make any additional record regarding that matter. Going back to the previous witness, Ms. Cooley, I asked the parties to approach during a series of questions by Mr. Samuel that drew objections from Ms. Hilton regarding that witness's criminal history. The original objection, I think, was that it was improper impeachment. Mr. Samuel indicated that he wasn't offering it for impeachment purposes, but to demonstrate that the witness wasn't there at the times that she claimed to have been. When I asked the parties to approach, I pointed out that if it went to impeachment, then it needed to be convictions and it needed to be for felonies or crimes of moral turpitude, and that if it went to attempting to demonstrate that the witness wasn't there, then what she was arrested for wasn't relevant, that maybe the fact of the arrest and the time frame would be relevant, but not what it was. And I think where that was resolved is that Mr. Samuel was like, I think I'm done with my examination anyway, but I wanted to make sure there was a record of that and see if any party wanted to put anything else on the record regarding that issue. Ms. Hilton.
Nothing from the state.
Mr. Samuel?
No, you're accurate, Your Honor.
Okay. And then there were two approaches regarding the witness, Officer Sutton. One was Mr. Samuel requested to approach. He expressed concern about the witness stating what the victim had told him as part of the his on-scene discussions assessment of the situation. And Mr. Fawcett indicated that he had, in accordance with the court's instructions, specifically instructed the officer that he wasn't to say anything about what Melissa Wolfenbarger told him. And so then we approached again because the state, I don't know that they used those words, but felt like Mr. Samuel may have opened the door to what Ms. Wolfenbarger told the officer or not by asking questions about whether Ms. Wolfenbarger's purse was stolen, whether her glasses were stolen, whether $10 was stolen, which we know was apparently a part of a narrative that the officer obtained from Ms. Wolfenbarger, but the questions were not asked in such a way that it implied or stated directly that that information came from Ms. Wolfenbarger. And so what I communicated at the bench was that I did not believe that Mr. Samuel's questions in that topic had opened the door. That was my recollection. If you want to correct, expound, or make any additional record, you're free to do so. Mr. Fawcett?
That's great.
Mr. Samuel?
I agree, that's correct.
Okay. Anything else we need to address before we take a quick break? Mr. Fawcett?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Samuel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. We're in recess until noon. Okay. We ready for the jury then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Deputy, can you get the jury for us? Please. Thank you all. Please be seated. State may call its next witness.
Your Honor, the state called Stephen O'Hare.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Come on up to the witness stand, and when you get there, before you sit down, if you'll turn and face the deputy and raise your right hand, he'll swear you in.
You swear affirm to the testimony that you have to give truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, sir? Yeah. Yes, sir. I got to see.
And if you'll get situated, be careful of those wheels next to that ledge, and then state and spell your name for the record, please.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Stephen O'Hare, Stephen, last name O''Hare.
Detective O'Hare, good afternoon now, about 7 minutes. Can you tell the court where you're currently employed?
I am currently employed with the Atlanta Police Department.
And in what capacity?
I'm a detective.
And how long have you been employed with the Atlanta Police Department?
I am in my 33rd year.
All right. Can you describe your duties that you have currently with the Atlanta Police Department?
I'm assigned to the fugitive unit. Our responsibilities include locating and arresting fugitives that are assigned to us. Typically, the individuals we're looking for would be described as violent offenders. Anybody that has a warrant for anything from murder, armed robbery, rape, aggravated assault involving a weapon. Almost all of our subjects we're looking for involve something of that nature.
Okay. And generally, how is an operation like this planned? What is the planning involved to execute something like this?
So initially, a case will be assigned out. Typically, it's in a rotation-styled order. They will go outside of that at times and give a senior investigator certain cases. In this case, or typically in any case, we'll do an initial background of the individual, attempting to identify a location or a number of locations that the individual could be at. We utilize technology in order to assist in locating individuals. Once we actually reasonably believe that we've got a location for a wanted subject, we will then utilize different means to apprehend them. Could use our own fugitive unit to basically go and conduct a knock and call out is what we call it. Basically, we knock on the door, identify ourselves, and request for the individual to come outside. We could utilize the U.S. Marshals in some more serious cases or cases that are outside of the immediate Atlanta area. We'll also utilize the FBI in a similar manner, but for me, I usually use the U.S. Marshals.
Okay. And were you working in that capacity on the 26th of July, 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And on August 6th, 2024?
Yes.
All right. And as to those dates in particular, now I'm going to turn your attention to August 6th, 2024. Can you tell the court what you did on that date?
So on August 6th of 2024, we prepared a warrant service in the attempt to apprehend Christopher Wolfenbarger, who had an outstanding warrant for murder. I had reached out to the U.S. Marshals and requested their assistance, including the assistance from the Spalding County Sheriff's Office. We reasonably believed that Christopher was at his address. I believe it's 126 Liberty Circle in Griffin, Georgia. We utilized his cell phone by GPSing it, and that allowed us to additionally believe that he was on site, as the cell phone showed to be at his property that was identified to belong to him. We arrived on site. U.S. Marshals took the lead as they went to the actual door to attempt to serve the warrant.
All right. Now, when you approach the door, and in particular in this case, do you make any type of attempt to announce your presence?
Yes, in this case, I witnessed it. The marshals did what we call a surround and call out, so they will surround the property utilizing all the different resources we have that day. But specifically in this case, they approached the door with a 8-man, what we call a stack. Basically, it's a series of individuals who obviously are armed, and their job is to make contact and attempt to apprehend the individual. And in this case, they did knock on the door, and they did identify themselves and specifically call out for Mr. Wolfenbarger to come out and surrender.
When you say identify themselves, how did they go about doing that?
they will call out their U.S. Marshals.
Okay. So there was some attempt, so your testimony is that there was some attempt to alert that there was law enforcement present?
Yeah, it was more than just some attempt. What we describe as waiting a reasonable amount of time. We will knock on a door, knock on a door, knock on a door, and they went further than just, I mean, they gave him several minutes to come outside and surrender.
And so when you say further, further than what? What do you mean by that?
Well, depending upon the intelligence we have prior to going in, the potential for violence or potential for there to be risk to the officers for serious injury or further than that, they could decide to basically break down the door. The individuals believed to be running inside, potentially gathering weapons or anything like that, they will breach the door and attempt to basically escalate it to a point to where get him to understand that he needs to surrender.
Okay. Were those attempts successful?
No, they breached the door, and the his female girlfriend that identified, I believe she was a long time girlfriend. She was observed coming from the right side of the structure. It was later determined that their bedroom was to the left side of the structure. So for whatever reason, she was coming from the other side.
Okay. All right. So walk us through, in terms of the tactics that you used to work your way through the Wolfenbarger residence, what were you doing, and how many persons or how many officers total were involved in that?
I can't tell you specifically how much personnel we had, but if I had to put a number on it, it'd be roughly 30 people between, obviously, I said before, Atlanta Police, U.S. Marshals, Spalding County Sheriff's Department, and we also had the U.S. Secret Service out there assisting.
Okay. So when you make your breach, what do you do after you first make the breach into the residence?
We basically will breach the door, and we'll continue to call out. At that point, they're waiting for any kind of contact with anybody. In this case, his girlfriend immediately came to the door, and saying she surrendered is she basically just started cooperating at that point.
Okay. And did you attempt to work your way through the residence at that time?
At that time, the team that actually was assigned to clear the structure started to basically clear the downstairs. They had a secondary team start to clear what I can only describe as the two garages or off to the right that were directly attached to the actual is the house. It's kind of a weird layout, but you had the house on the left, and then you had attached garages that they were using as part of their house. So they cleared the bottom area, did not locate him. They were working to clear the upstairs structure, but they were being very methodical about it. They believed at that point, since they had cleared the bottom, that there's a potential that he was hiding upstairs, and they were trying to come up with a plan on how to safely be able to go up there and locate him and apprehend him.
Okay. Were you able to, was that successful, attempted to locate Mr. Wolfenbarger upstairs?
They never actually made it upstairs. I actually had relocated from outside and came in and started assisting in what we call a secondary search. We actually did 3 or 4 searches to try to locate this individual, and it's not unusual to have people get creative in their houses or locations and come up with locations for them to hide. So we continued to kind of pull on boards, try to move mirrors, just do second and third searches to make sure that somebody didn't miss something. Unfortunately, we are human and things do happen like that. So as I maneuvered out for probably the second or third time out to what was, I can only describe as a makeshift kitchen that was created in one of the garages, and I kind of maneuvered around and I noticed on the right side of it there was like a wine rack that appeared to be loose. So I started manipulating it and kind of saw that it was moving a little bit, and I was using my gun and flashlight on my gun to kind of peer underneath underneath it, and I maneuvered a little bit more to the right, and when I looked inside I could see what turned out to be Mr. Wolfenbarger hunched over. I could see his back, and he was hunched over, hiding deep into the little structure that was created for their kitchen.
Okay. Is your memory good enough of what you observed that day that are you able to demonstrate the manner in which Mr. Wolfenbarger was, as you testified, hunching over when you observed him?
It might not be my memory that I'm worried about. It might be my body that I'm worried about.
Okay. All right. Are you physically able?
But yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. With the court's permission, could I have the witness step into the gallery and demonstrate what he observed Mr. Wolfenbarger doing?
Mr. German? Daniel?
That's fine.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
He seemed to be on all fours, kind of hunched over, where he just was, and you could see the curvature of his back.
Okay. And at that time, your testimony was that you had the light on your firearm, is that correct?
That's correct.
And at that time, your testimony was also that you had already previously made several attempts to announce law enforcement. Is that also correct?
Repeat that?
Several attempts to announce that you were law enforcement. Is that also
not
correct?
just myself, but everybody that was out there. They were. The initial response was we had identified ourselves, and at that point we weren't walking around basically announcing ourselves over and over again. The people that are serving the warrant, that are actually looking for him inside, they can't have a bunch of people talking. Their job is to come up with a plan to try to safely find him. So we're not just going to be in the house just yelling or continuously saying, "Hey, police."
Okay. How much time would you say, just an estimation of how much time it took from the point when you first made your announcement of law enforcement to when you were able to apprehend the defendant?
It was at least 20 minutes, if not longer.
Okay.
Somewhere between the range of 20 and 30 minutes, it seemed like, at least.
All right. Were you able to apprehend the defendant on that day?
Yes. Once we spotted him inside of the kitchen area, I kind of backed off, summoned some of the guys around it, and then we called out several times. I attempted to communicate with him myself. Other guys from the U.S. Marshals finally got him to be able to respond within about probably 3 to 5 minutes. And then basically he responded verbally, and it took us probably another 3 to 5 minutes to get him out of the structure, to talk him out.
Okay. All right. The court's permission, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 29. Can you tell the court if you recognize this State's Exhibit?
I do.
All right. How do you recognize that exhibit?
That is a thumb drive with body worn camera video.
Have you had an opportunity to view the contents of that State's Exhibit?
I have.
Did you sign the envelope on that exhibit indicating that you had viewed it and that it was a fair and accurate representation of what you observed on the date you arrested the defendant?
I did.
Your Honor, at this time, the State moved to tender in evidence State's Exhibit 29.
Okay, Exhibit 29 is admitted.
Okay. Permission to publish?
Permission granted.
And Your Honor, I've informed the defense counsel, my assumption is that they're in agreement. We're playing the tape starting at 5 minutes.
Okay.
And how long is it?
It is 26 minutes.
Minus 5 or?
Minus 5.
So 21 minutes of runtime?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. Is there both audio and video?
There is audio and video, that's correct.
Okay. The reason I ask that question is just so I can instruct the jury that because of the technology, if you see people talking, their words may lag behind the movement that you see. And so I'll just prepare you for that, that they might not line up. Go ahead, sir.
Someone wants to put anything from her?
No, it's same old shit.
She ran. He ran out and went into that. There's a freaking, that little man cave, and she
Yeah, but if you're going to run, you're going to keep running.
That's true. But it's the fence. You can't get past the big high chimney.
Did, and the perimeter got up pretty quick, right?
Right, plus Frank and another guy approached the woods. So, I mean, yeah.
They were blocked off there, I think.
Yeah. I don't think that they would have made it out.
Yeah.
Sean? Yeah. Want me to clear your tickets right here? Yeah, fix them there. Yeah, just secondary sweep on the cabinets.
We're about to get the drone flying upstairs. We're about to fly the drone upstairs.
Very, very small, buddy.
Straight out of the stairs or straight off the two-way straight up. Looks like it splits because
I
left and
wouldn't put
right.
it past us, dude. If he knows something's coming, like to have like fucking, I mean, it sounds weird, but to have like a fucking
Howdy ho.
yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Upstairs would be the best place. I love these cabinets down here.
Yeah, we still got that. Yeah.
I think we got some sort of attic with a hole down there.
Is there no problem with that? Yeah, it's not.
Is there I got something here.
Are we pretty much clear on the main level?
Except for when you come in the front door, there's a door behind the front door that goes to the structure window on the left. I don't think we've gotten to what that is. Jumping out.
Yeah, so if Frank's about to have the drum ready, I would say let's get the drum up there first. Yeah? The box up there as well. Hey, so he's not going to have a whole lot of work up there with the drum. Immediate left is a closed door. Okay. Button hook right, pretty much right above us. There's another closed door. Right and straight is a bathroom. All right, hey, who's got the drill remote? Or the bot remote? Okay, hey, somebody monitor this while Mason's on the stairs. Make sure it's got it jump out on the stairs first. You like a doorbell. You know that he was awake and he tells her that writer stay. So we've got interior cameras. Yeah.
Hey, the two windows here on the left side of the house right there.
Yeah.
Where these bedroom windows, right?
Yeah.
Are they? So that would be nothing but what, a closet?
Yeah.
It's gotta be small.
Yes, sir. Those two windows go to the bedroom in here.
So it's gotta be small.
I'm not gonna went in there.
Yeah, I have not. I went in there. It's going to be there's no connecting door. It's going to be a small closet unless it stairs down. Okay.
Maybe a fucking cool closet, some type of shit.
All right. And I can get up and walk upstairs if you guys want to clean that up.
Is somebody in there? Somebody in there?
Yeah, they're
Josh ain't got moving them. All right, got you. All right, next session towards you. Hey, nobody never said that.
Well, me and him are going to take stairs. You better don't want to.
Let's move it. Go ahead, bro.
Robots up there.
Close the window, right? Yeah.
Alright, so when we rolled up, this device was on that side of the house. Take it out, you.
Did you guys clean up here?
No, I'm not there. Probably heard.
What's happening?
Keep in mind,
Doesn't this look weird, this mirror? I guess it's like a workout.
out here. Just, you see, four axis. This will come through. I didn't hear nothing. Upstairs. And then look at his slide. It looks like a slide. I can't see. Height, 6 foot, yes, sir. According to the bottom.
And that left, or deep left, is a big ass dresser. It's pushed all the way to the wall.
Chair up. There's this whole corner, but I think I pretty much cleared it. See, you got the corner. But it's here. Where's the AC unit? I guess it's upstairs. So I got a cubby hole behind a mirror back here. So it's not enough, yeah. Is there no basement? Right here, over there. What, that's coming from the ground? That's definitely coming from the ground. I mean, excuse me. Yeah. It could be under like a subfloor, but then that means there is a subfloor. So, access to that. No, some way you can get in here. It's held in by these two things. Yeah, it's on a channel, but I couldn't, like, maybe, yeah, I couldn't really, I can't see an empty space. Did we see a phone for him and you? You did. Okay. I don't see him. Tell him I need a gun. He's in here. I'm on the other side. You'll be able to see him. Talk to him. Talk to him. Chris! Come out with your hands up, dude. You know you're in here in the garage behind the line thing. Come out now! Yo. Partner, come out now or you're gonna get yourself fucking shot. Jason, Chris, come on out, buddy. Got to. You good, Matt? You good? Hey, no, bring the dog out. Where? Yeah, bring the dog out. Inside of that. Inside of it? Yes, you'll see an opening on the other side. Yeah. He's kind of hunched over like this.
We stopped the video at 23:44.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Detective O'Hare, we've just watched a portion of the video beginning at the 5-minute mark. At this point in the video, has the the announcement and the breach into the residence, had that occurred at that point already?
That had occurred originally, yes.
Okay, all right. And that was the video consistent with your testimony as to the wine rack and placing your gun in the flashlight to be able to view the defendant at that time?
Correct.
All right. And you testified as to the use of technology. Was that the reason that you continued to do I guess the first and the secondary searches? Was that the reason that you continued to do that?
No, technology would have referred to utilizing his cell phone to assist in locating him.
All right. And how, in terms of the cell phone, was that did that contribute to, I guess, just the certainty that he was at the location or the effort to search the residence? Did that contribute to that?
Yeah, the fact that this was reasonably believed to be his residence, and in addition to that, his cell phone was at the residence. It led us to believe that he was in the residence. We additionally got some additional information that he was inside. So,
okay, all right. That's all I have, Judge. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Samuel?
Detective?
yes, sir.
Detective O'Hare. We've been in court once before. You may not remember. You worked with the Marshals task force, is that right?
I did, yes.
Okay, at the time. Okay, Detective Hines, Deputy Hines, with the U.S. Marshals?
Yes.
Okay. Hutchins?
Correct.
You testified in that case, do you recall?
I did.
Okay. The approach that the strike forces take when they apprehend someone begins with a pre-operation meeting, correct?
That's correct.
Somewhere off-site, you meet and discuss the background of the defendant, right?
Correct.
You review kind of the history of the case a little bit. I mean, you're not spending hours, but to give you a sense of what you should expect to find, correct?
That's correct.
And for your all safety, right?
Yes.
That wasn't me, was it?
No, I think it was someone in the gallery. It's fine.
No strikes. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. And if I understand correctly, there were about 30 of you that showed up at the house, right?
That's my rough guesstimate. Yes, sir.
You can count the cars out in the driveway, but and well, let me go back to the pre-operational meeting. You knew that who did the pre-operational meeting? Who was the case agent, so to speak?
In a technical sense, it was me.
Okay.
I assisted, but considering that we had requested for the U.S. Marshals to handle the actual deployment of resources to apprehend him,
right.
I believe it was Deputy U.S. Marshal Frank Lemke that was technically the U.S. Marshal case agent.
Got it. Okay. And in the pre-operational meeting, did you all discuss the fact that on several prior occasions, Mr. The defendant, Chris, here, you know his name is Chris, right?
Correct.
Wolfenbarger, that he had met with the police and had long conversations with them on many occasions prior to this?
Yes, it was revealed that he understood he was a suspect. Obviously, this had occurred years prior.
That's right. And he had met with the APD and had given DNA samples on 3 different occasions?
I wasn't aware of that, but
He met with other detectives and gave head hair samples when asked?
that could have happened.
He met with other police. I mean, he was regularly, it seems, this was many years ago, meeting with police officers and gave pubic hair samples. Were you aware of that?
I was aware that he knew he was a suspect and had previously
Cooperated? Yeah.
But all the rest of it, I mean, you're talking about a number of years had transpired.
The point is, it's important for the arrest team to know about his. Listen, if in the past he had regularly pulled out a gun every time the police approached him, you would have dealt somewhat differently on this day, August 6th, than if he had just regularly talk to the police when asked.
I guess, but the fact is, the charges, I mean,
I understand.
support us taking him very seriously.
I am not saying you did anything wrong. Okay, so don't.
No, I understand that.
Okay. Who was doing the pre-op? Lemke? Is that what you said?
I believe it was Lemke, but it would have been supported by me. I would have provided, because I technically was
Right.
the case agent for APD, so I would have provided a lot of the details.
And was this your body cam we were just watching for 20 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. No firearms anywhere, right?
I don't recall ever seeing any.
Okay. Well, of course, you all had
Yeah,
assault
no doubt,
weapons
yes.
and machine guns and all kinds of things you use, right? Possess, right?
We have firearms, correct.
Right. If necessary, you have flashbangs you will use.
We have access to them, yes.
You have access to drones you actually use, even inside houses. You'll send
Correct.
drones upstairs to look around what's going on, right?
Yes.
And in this case, as in, I think it's fair to say all of the cases that the strike force does, it's kind of a, for lack of a better description, kind of a shock and awe, right? You don't go in with one or two people and knock on the door if it's a case where you're making a violent crime arrest. You 30 people with all armed with, many armed with assault weapons and everything else, right?
Yeah, we
It
do.
is a scary scene.
Well, the idea is to overwhelm the individual with a show of perceived force.
Exactly what I meant. Okay. Shock and awe, overwhelm them with perceived force. And it's obvious to you what happened here was the overwhelming show of force led him to hide behind the counter, right? Behind the wine cellar, the wine rack.
I would say I would disagree with you.
Okay. Well, you don't know what's in his state of mind. I don't know what was his state of mind. But there was an overwhelming show of force, and then he went and hid, correct?
There was, but there was also a declaration that the law enforcement was on his property, and he was fully aware of that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not questioning that. I mean, just look how everybody's dressed. You all have flak jackets on, police, marshal. Secret Service was there. No FBI. The FBI strike force wasn't there, right?
They were not there.
You use marshals, and another group uses FBI, right?
Correct.
Strike force. There's two different strike forces in Atlanta. And when you arrested him, he came out from behind the, whatever you call that part of the kitchen that was under kind of construction behind the wine rack, correct?
Correct. After a period of time, he finally surrendered.
Right. And then you put him in someone's car and drove him up to Atlanta, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fawcett?
Detective O'Hare, were you involved in the criminal investigation in this case?
I was not.
Okay. Do you know who the lead detective was when the skull of Melissa Wolfenbarger was originally found in 1998?
I believe it was a retired detective, Detective Dale Kelly.
Okay. Did you assist him at that time in 98?
I did not.
You familiar with who the lead detective is when the remains were identified in 2003? Do you know who was assigned to the case at that time?
In 2003?
Yes.
I do not.
Okay. So you don't know that it was Detective Alton Calhoun?
I did not.
Okay. Did you ever consult with Detective Calhoun about his investigation into this case?
I did not.
Okay. You didn't talk to Detective Calhoun about whether or not the defendant was cooperative during the investigation?
I did not.
Okay. What about Detective Jerry and Shepard, who picked the case up in 2021? Did you ever discuss or assist with the investigation of the case and assist him?
I did not.
Okay. And based on your observations, would you describe the defendant as cooperating with law enforcement on the date that you arrived to execute that arrest warrant?
He did not.
Okay. Now, are you able to see and recognize the defendant in court today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you point him out and describe what the defendant is wearing?
The young man off to the right, blue blazer, light colored shirt.
All right. Can you see if the defendant is sitting in a chair or a wheelchair or something?
Our whelp stick, like that he can identify Wolfenbarger.
All right. Do you see that?
Yeah. It sounds as if Mr. Samuel indicated that they would stipulate that that was Mr. Wolfenbarger.
Okay, great. Do you see that Mr. Wolfenbarger is in a wheelchair at this time?
Yes.
Can you see that?
I did when I walked in. Yes.
Okay. All right. Are you able to recall the physical state condition of Mr. Wolfenbarger at the time that he was arrested?
He seemed perfectly healthy.
Okay. Did he appear, as he was hunched over, attempting to hide, did he appear to have any physical limitations at that time?
He did not.
Okay. And when he exited, did he appear to have difficulty moving around?
He did not.
And did either yourself or other members of your unit perform any acts that would have physically harmed the defendant on that date?
We did not.
So, okay. All right. That's all I have, Judge.
Samuel? Okay.
Nothing further.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. You are excused.
Your Honor.
State may call its next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Norma Patton.
You'll come on up to the witness stand, ma'am. Come on up this way. And when you get to the witness stand, okay. You go ahead and have a seat, please. Get situated up to the microphone. You need to help her get that seat situated. The deputy, and raise your right hand. He'll swear you in.
You swear affirm to the testimony that you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. There you go.
I am. I do.
Thank you. And if you'll please state and spell your name for the record.
Norma J. Patton, Norma J. Patton.
Ms. Patton?
Yes, sir.
Tell the court, where were you living in the 1990s?
1990,
Yes, 1990s, that area.
Locust Grove.
All right. And were you married?
Yes, sir.
Who were you married to?
Carl M. Patton Jr.
All right. How many years were you guys married?
We were married 56 years, 6 months, and 8 days.
Okay. Did you and your husband have any children?
Yes, sir.
How many children did you have?
We had 2 girls.
What were their names?
Tina Mae was the oldest, and Melissa Dawn.
Okay. And where did you raise your 2 children? Where did you raise your 2 children?
Between Ellenwood and Locust Grove.
Okay. And how the age range between the 2?
7 years.
Okay. And did Melissa and Tina, did all of you guys grow up in the same household?
Yes.
All right. Do you know the name Christopher Wolfenbarger?
Yes.
How do you know that name?
Melissa started seeing him when she got into high school.
Okay. And was this at the beginning of high school, middle, end of high school?
Freshman year.
All right. How did you come to find out about that relationship?
When she met him, she started running away to be with him.
And what about that instance? How did you find out about it?
Well, she would not come home from school, and I would try to find her and turn her in as a runaway when I wasn't able to find her.
Okay. And prior to her starting high school, was that happening?
No, sir.
All right. And during that period, how would you describe the relationship between yourself, Tina Patton, and Melissa Patton?
Tina May and I have not been close. Melissa is the one that I bonded with more so than Tina May.
And what do you mean by that?
Melissa was my baby.
Okay. What were some of the differences between how your interaction with Melissa and Tina how would that differ?
Well, the difference with Tina May, she would get mad when she wouldn't get her way, so she would run away.
Okay. And what about Melissa?
Melissa, we didn't have that issue. We just, until she met Chris.
Okay. Did you know of Christopher Wolfenbarger prior to that time?
No, sir.
All right. And what were your feelings at that time about the defendant and your daughter seeing each other?
I didn't want them seeing each other because I felt she was too young.
Okay. And were you did you express that to your daughter?
Yes.
Did that have any effect when you expressed that to her?
Well, she just kept running away. You know, she didn't.
Okay. And at any point, do you recall their relationship becoming particularly serious?
Yes, I got worried about it after they, the first runaway, not so much, but after she kept running away, then I determined that I felt like I needed to put her on birth control.
Okay.
So I put her on birth control.
All right. And can you tell the court what you recall after that?
I tried my best to keep them separated, and I would watch her take the birth control pill, and I thought she was taking them, but come to find out she was not taking them.
Okay. And do you recall if your daughter conceived a child at any point?
Yes, she did.
And at what point, if she's in high school and she's talking about her starting high school, how soon after that does this happen?
Pretty well. I found out before Christmas that she was pregnant.
Okay. Do you recall how old she was at that time?
No.
Was she at a point where she was a senior and ready to graduate from high school?
She was not a senior.
Okay. Was it at a point where she had just started high school and say she was a freshman?
Yes.
Okay. So closer to the beginning of high school, is that the best of your recollection?
Yes.
All right. And your recollection is that she got pregnant during that period?
Right.
And do you recall the grandchild that she got pregnant with?
Yes, Christina.
Okay. And is that Christina Wolfenbarger?
Yes, it's Christina Marie.
Okay. All right. And what happened after Melissa got pregnant?
After she got pregnant in February, her and Chris got married.
Okay.
Because she was pregnant. Did not need my signature because she was pregnant. So that was just.
Was Melissa living with you up to that time when she got pregnant?
Yes, she was.
All right. And who all was living in the house at that time?
Carl, myself, and Melissa.
Okay. And at that time, we're talking about going into high school, and when she meets the defendant, what was the relationship with Carl Patton and Melissa, your daughter?
They had a very good relationship. He would take her fishing. He took her on fishing on one episode, and he had caught a turtle, and he started pulling the turtle in the boat, and she about got out of the boat and was trying to get away from the turtle. And he brought the turtle home.
All right. And after your daughter got married, did she continue to live in your residence, or did she move out?
No. The day that she got married, it's the day she moved out.
Okay, and where did she move to?
She moved to East Point. I don't remember the street that they lived on.
Okay. And is this a residence that you visited after she moved?
Only one time.
Okay. And why was that only one time?
It just, they didn't stay there that long.
Do you recall if your daughter Melissa conceived another child with the defendant?
Yes.
And what child was that?
That would be Joseph.
Okay.
Joseph Allen Zander.
And are you able to tell the jury how many years apart between Christina and Joey?
Christina was born in August the 15th, and Joey was 1995, and Joey was born July 5th of 1996.
Okay, so right
there.
It
was not even a year.
All right. And your grandchildren are born, there's 95, 96. Are you spending time periodically, frequently? Are you spending time with your grandchildren during that period?
During that period, Melissa, when she would get a chance, she would bring Christina basically to my house whenever she had the opportunity to have a way to get down there.
Okay. And orient us to what year this would be, best you can.
She came to the house kind of early 96 when she found out she was pregnant with Joey. Her and Christina, and she sat on the couch and told me that she was pregnant. But prior to her coming, I had gotten home and had a letter from her where she wrote a letter because I wasn't home.
Okay.
And to tell me that she was pregnant. So when she actually came, I already knew that she was pregnant.
All right. Now you said whenever she would get a chance. So we're talking about that 1996. Think about that year. Give us an estimate as to how many times she would have come over and you would have seen her and say Chrissy during that period.
I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times, I guess.
Okay. All right. And is that spread out during that period of the year?
Yes.
Okay. And when she comes over, is she coming over by herself and the daughter, or is she Chris and the defendant?
Usually it was just her and Christina.
Okay. And does that continue into the next year, 1997?
1997, really didn't see her that much. In 1996, before Christmas, she actually lived with me, with her and Joey, but
Okay. And then,
for a couple months.
okay, so and that was in Christmas of '96?
That early, before Christmas, yeah.
Okay. And do you recall why that happened?
Because she had been arrested for car theft.
Okay. So she got arrested for car theft, and you're keeping the grandkids for 2 months.
She came to stay with me with the grandbabies, yes.
Okay. And during that period, what's your relationship with your grandchildren?
It was fabulous. She got a job. During that probably about 3 months that she was there, she got a job at a place in McDonough that did computer parts. So she was working and taking care of the babies.
Okay. Did you see your daughter in 1998?
1998, I saw her November 9th, 1998. It was the last time I saw her.
Oh, the last time you saw her. Okay. All right. Now, are you familiar with where your daughter was working during this period? You said the computer place. Was she working anywhere else?
To my knowledge, she was working on and off at Waffle House.
All right. Okay. Now, I want to turn your attention to the year 1998. Did you have an opportunity to see Christina in and around, say, the July or August period of 1998?
No, I did not.
Okay. During that period of 1998, do you recall seeing any injuries or bruising on the person of your daughter, Melissa Wolfenbarger?
When I saw Melissa in the summer of 1998, when I saw her, she had on long sleeves and blue jeans, and it was like July and August.
Okay. So I want to make sure that we're on the same page here. So you're saying that it's not 88, you're saying in July of 1998, you saw your daughter Melissa?
Yes.
All right. Were you able to observe any bruising or marks or abrasions on your daughter at that time?
I did not, because she had on long sleeves and blue jeans.
Okay. Did your daughter tell you about anything that happened? Your Honor has previously ruled on this matter.
Overruled.
Did your daughter tell you about anything that occurred in that month of July?
No.
Okay.
What?
Let me ask you this.
Objection. Okay, never mind. Withdrawn. Go ahead.
Okay.
Were you aware of an arrest that occurred on the defendant, Christopher Wolfenbarger, in July of 1998?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of why that arrest occurred?
Because he had knocked her down and dragged her along the sidewalk.
Okay. Now, I want to make sure that we're talking about information that you are getting from the right source. Where do you get that
from Melissa.
Okay. And when did she tell you that?
And when me and her dad came and picked her up from where they were living on Brookline Street.
Okay.
When we took her back to the house, and I saw the abrasions on her backside. Her dad did not see those abrasions.
Okay. And when you say abrasions, what do you mean by that?
Her whole backside was skin up, like she'd been dragged along the sidewalk.
So was that consistent with what she told you about being dragged?
Yes.
Did you see scrapes, redness, or blood when you observed that?
Yes.
And if you could stand up and just, well, I'm not going to have you stand up. But when you say it around her back, how large, if you could just demonstrate, how large of an injury would you say you just demonstrate?
I'd say probably something along that line.
Okay, all right. And did Melissa tell you who was responsible for that?
Chris.
And do you see the person that she was speaking of in court today?
I can't see him, no.
Okay.
The screens are blocking him.
I see. Okay. Are you able to stand up? Okay.
Yes, I see him.
And you can sit down. Thank you. You tell the court what the defendant is wearing?
He's wearing a blue suit.
All right. What happened after you observed those abrasions?
Well, we because his mother had custody of Christina and Joey, we went through the Henry County process, and Melissa got the kid, both children, and they lived with me.
Okay.
And for about till they went to court.
Okay.
On the abuse.
And were you present in court on that date?
I was.
And was the defendant present in court that date?
Yes, he was.
Do you recall what date that was?
No, my mind is just, I'm getting a little frazzled. July 29th, I think.
Okay. And that would have been July 29th of?
1998.
Okay, all right. Do you know if the case went forward that date?
No, it did not.
And why did not? Why didn't it?
Because Christopher asked the judge to let him speak to Melissa alone.
Okay.
And the judge allowed it.
All right. And after that, what happened to that case?
Melissa left with Chris. I went to daycare and picked up Christina and Joey because I was the only one that could pick them up. And I met with Kathy Wolfenbarger and handed the kids over to her.
Okay.
Because Melissa was going home with Chris.
Mr. Fawcett?
Yes.
I was trying to find sort of a natural stopping point, and this is the best one I can find so far. For just a moment, Ms. Patton. So it's about 1:15, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, I'm going to break for lunch now until 2:15. So you are excused for lunch, and then we'll be back in here at 2:15, okay? Thank you. And you can just stay right there for now, ma'am. Thank you. You may step down. We're on break until 2:15, okay? Thank you. Yes, sir. You can come up and help her.